That's so beautiful. Let's land this by talking about family. It's a bit difficult when you become popular, famous, to find the right wife because you have so many people running after you and everybody will pretend that you're the love of my life. And many people go like, I wish I'd married when nobody knew me. But you married when you had become well known as the tech, as the most influential tech guy in Africa. How did you, you say you married right. So
no, absolutely.
What happened? How did you get it right in spite of all the noise around you?
Well, I mean,
tell us who your wife is.
Yes, yes.
We'll put a picture on the screen.
I'm not sure if she would appreciate being put on blast. Like, she's very private. She likes to be behind the camera, not in front. But no, you know, I married an amazing woman of God. She's American, and we have one amazing child, Karis. I think for me, you know, God really led me when it came to the question of marriage, because the kind of life that I lead and I live, right? The truth is, my friends always marvel. They're like, Iyin, how did you do it? Because my wife would never let me take some of the risks that you take, you know, and agree to be led in the way that you lead, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
And they say, how did you do it? I say, look, it's really important for you to get, you know, God's guidance. And I feel like God really sent her to me. And, you know, I met her here in Lagos, actually, even though she's not Nigerian. I met her here in Lagos. We were friends. And then, you know, during the time that Flutterwave was scaling, it was important for us to run some of our operations closer to our investors to build trust out of San Francisco. Yeah. And that was when she was doing her master's in crisis communications. So we became much closer during that period of time. And then, you know, while I was there, you know, I like to say she was perhaps the one critical gift that Flutterwave gave me, because we got married, and you know, the way I know that it was indeed God's will for my life is the journey we've been on since we got married. Because you can imagine, we got married in 2018, and a few months later, I resigned
from Flutterwave,
right? And I went to start working for Madam Obi's campaign. We moved together to Abuja. She was pregnant. You know, by that December, January, she was pregnant of 2019 when we started the campaign, and she walked through the pregnancy for the campaign.
Yeah.
Then we went back to the US. You know, she went back to the US. I came after. And then, you know, I was in the US. I was actually planning to settle in the US. And God was telling me, if you stay here,
it's your mission.
Yes, if you stay here, you know, I don't know whose mission you're on here. You know, so we had to come back to Lagos, and so we were living in Yaba, in Unike. I don't know any other woman that would be doing that, you know, with me, you know.
Your kind of life of just stepping in,
you understand what I'm saying,
into the water,
exactly, and
taking
just
up big problems, and
you understand. So it's really God that gives you a great wife.
So the key thing is just be led by God.
You have to be. I think the more prominent you are, the more important it is to be led. There were a lot of you know, opportunity. You know, one would have thought I would have ended up with somebody, you know, prayer warrior, you know, Bible, you know, more maybe a sister in the church or something. And there were a lot of those, but you know, God kept telling me, no, this is not.
I have the right fit.
This is not the right fit. And culturally, people underestimate how And you know, I actually, one of the things that one of the challenges that we faced early on, she was not Nigerian, right? But I really thank God for my parents, because I think it was my dad that was like, look, you know, and my mom, my dad and my mom. In fact, I remember when I was going to present her to my family, I had made up my mind. I said, look, this was in 2018. I said, look, if you guys don't agree, I'm going ahead anyway, because I've received the word, and I was ready to just show them and move on with my plans. But the warmth with which they receive, I know. So the joke in our family is that she's the real daughter and I'm just the adopted son. You know, so yeah, and I just thank God, you know, for giving me such an amazing woman. And you know, my advice to young people is really just wait on God's choice for you. You know, love is not enough.
God must lead.
God has to lead you.